Today I am going to do the walkthrough series of the skilled worker visa. So this is the visa that's considerably in demand as of today. So we have several other videos on several aspects. Um, we do uh, a lot of consultations and representations in this area. We also represent employers. I have seen that there is some disconnect when clients, applicants, or even employers read the skilled worker requirements on this page, the page that you see on screen, the government page which explains everything about the skilled worker visa. And there are some disconnects in the understanding as it should be, because this is not the immigration rules. This is just a simplification for lay people, for who are not legally qualified, individuals who are not legally qualified, to understand the rules briefly and to help them with the applications. So I'll just walk through and explain the aspects wherever the details about several aspects. I'll take one paragraph at a time. So overall I'll follow this order. If you want to go to any other specific heading, you can just fast forward the video and watch it over there, or anyways I'll be giving different tips throughout the video. So if you can, preferably if you stay throughout the video, it's much better, because I'll be sharing our experiences etc throughout. So begin with a skilled worker visa allows you to come to stay in the UK to do an eligible job with an employer. Okay, important thing, employer needs to have a sponsor license. uh, Lawyers cannot give you jobs, so this is one of the important things. Many times clients call us and inquire with us saying they need work permit. So the way the UK work permit system works is the employer has to apply to the government to get a sponsor license. It will tell you before and after in the other tabs as well. So summarily, employer applies for a license. License means the government checks that it is a genuine employer, vacancies are genuine, they are a legal operating trading business, and it is a proper and full legal business. Simple as that. It can be in any field, doesn't matter. And they give them a license. A license is a digital system called as a sponsor management system. It's not a physical license, it's a digital kind of a software you can think of. And through that software, the employer issues certificates of sponsorship. Someone who is outside the UK, and if you are coming to the UK, if you are an employer, you want to sponsor someone, or you're an employee trying to come to the UK, your employer should have the license, number one. If they don't have, they should apply for it. We do advise, we represent employers, we do everything under this area. We also act as legal representatives. We have access to sponsor management system. We represent and act on behalf of the employer, the employee, everyone. uh, so we are immigration lawyers. I am myself qualified at level 3 of the OISC. We also do appeals. I am registered to do appeals in the tribunal, etc. So yes, so that is the summary. I'll go into every aspect and I'll take one paragraph at a time and try to explain rather than just reading through. So this is the visa has been replaced Tier 2 General. So this visa was called as Tier 2 General visa before. Now it is called as skilled worker visa. Anyone who is already on Tier 2 General inside the UK, if they apply for extension or anything, or they change employers, they apply for it again, they get the skilled worker visa, because the Tier 2 General is no longer issued. But if you are trying to qualify for permanent residence, indefinite leave to remain, then your 5 years, you can count the time that you spent on the skilled worker plus the Tier 2 General. So for example, for 3 years you were on Tier 2 General, then you moved to skilled worker visa, and now you're on skilled worker. So those 3 plus 2 years of skilled worker, you can count them together, and after 5 years you can apply for indefinite leave to remain. So it also allows you to work in the UK waters. Yeah, that's for specific in UK territories, territorial waters, etc. So even ships which are working, so just to summarily, it doesn't apply to everyone. It's a very small niche area. We do advise on those matters also. So where ships come in the UK territorial waters, it's mainly comes in admiralty law, etc. And there are employees who are working on those ships for various reasons. uh, then they also come under the Tier 2 General or the skilled worker category. So this whole paragraph till this it is applies to European nationals only, number one. So I won't even read it, I'll just summarily tell it. It is in every UK visa, you will see this paragraph. This is just a reminder that if you are a European national, it is just to exclude them if you are reading this and you're trying to apply. If you did qualify for EU settlement scheme, which is the law which came after Brexit, so if you're a European, only then this read this through, or else don't even bother to read this. So it doesn't matter, European or European family connection, family member, etc. And you started living in the UK before 31st December 2020. Yes, that was the end of the transition period, correct. So, and any Europeans who have not started living in the UK before 31st December 2020, then you still have to apply for the skilled worker visa as normal as any other non-European national. Okay. Eligibility. For a skilled visa, you must work. That's approved. So, being approved by Home Office means they should have a sponsor license, have a certificate of sponsorship. So first the employer gets the sponsor license, then they apply for certificate of sponsorship. If you are outside UK, the employee is outside UK, then the certificate is called as defined certificate of sponsorship. Summarily, the employer has to define the position, how they found the employee, etc., etc. There are several things we advise on these matters, and then the employer is issued a certificate. The certificate is digital, it's just a reference number that is given in the sponsor management system, and it has all the details of the employee. And so you should have a sponsor license, you should have a certificate of sponsorship, do a job that's on the list of eligible. So there is a list of eligible occupation codes. What that means, the government has made level 3 and above, so all the jobs in the UK are rated 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 whatever. So there are numbers given as per the level of education, experience, etc. required. Summarily, it's not exactly that, but there is an ONS tool where you can find it, but not very relevant here. So there is a list of occupations. So for example, if you're a chef, you have a number 1 2 3 4. If you're a CEO, you have 4 5 6. So there is a number given to every occupation, very simple. So, and there is a list of eligible codes in that skilled worker occupation list, and that job should be on that list, very simple. So if you're applying, let's say, for a yoga teacher's job, and yeah, we've done yoga teachers also. So, and the job code is 4578. So that is the job code that needs to be mentioned on the certificate of sponsorship. There is a minimum salary to be paid, everything is defined over there. Be paid a minimum salary, that's what it says. And then you must have a confirmed job offer before you apply. So usually employment contract is not required, so I've never seen. At the stage of applying for a certificate of sponsorship, yes, the Home Office sometimes does ask for documents. How did you find this employee? How did you what was your recruitment process, etc., etc., and what will be the contract of employment. So at that point, maybe a job offer is required, but usually it is not required for the visa application. Yeah, when the Home Office is doing the research, asking you several questions, or when you file the DCOS, they may come back with all the questions. So at that point, yeah, usually you need to answer all the things and also give them a contract of employment. Yeah, I've always seen that they ask for it. Then knowledge of language. Summarily, anyone who is applying should pass the English test and all 4 components: reading, writing, speaking, listening. Yeah, all 4 components. There are different companies. When you click on those links, they will take you, there are about 5 providers or so everywhere in the world. Usually outside UK there is IELTS inside, and there are some others also who have set up business now. But doesn't matter whose exam you give, it should say UKVI, or it should have a specific reference number. It tells you under those things, but you need to pass the exam in all 4 components: speak, read, write. Yeah, speak, read, write, and listen. Yeah, listening is also there. And the minimum level is B1. That is what is required, B1 level. You cannot use IELTS academic or IELTS general. No, there is a specific exam for this which says UKVI IELTS, something like that. So clients do ask us sometimes saying, oh, I have passed that academic IELTS or general IELTS for any other reason. No, you cannot use for this particular visa. or any UK visa for that matter. All the UK visas, they have specific exams which would say UKVI or something, because there is a special reference number on those certificates, on those exams, which the caseworker will enter into the system, and they will verify that yes, that is a genuine exam that has been passed. So you cannot use general IELTS or academic IELTS. The names are very similar, but it has to say UKVI. That's what I understand from the rules, whatever I have read. If you are not eligible for skilled worker visa, you may be eligible for other type of visa. Okay, so how long can you stay? Your visa can last up to 5 years. So uh, usually the visa fee changes at 3 year and 5 year point. If you apply for anything up to, I would advise anything between 6 months to 3 years you can apply. If then there is a specific fees. If you apply anything over 3 years up to 5 years, then the fees doubles, the visa fees. There are other components also, but mainly for the visa fees. So employers usually prefer to give them an employees 3 years visas and then they extend. That's the usual practice 90% of the times. That's what you have seen. Uh, you'll need to apply to extend or update your visa when it expires, or if you change jobs. Yeah, so if you change jobs in the UK, you have to apply again with the new certificate of sponsorship from the new employer and get the same skilled worker visa with a new sponsor. If you want to stay longer in the UK, you can apply to extend your visa as many times. So there is no cap on it, like 6 years, 9 years you have on the ICT, on the senior specialist SSW, GPM, senior specialist care worker, global mobility, previously called as ICT. So it has its limitations of uh, 5 years, 9 years, yeah. But over here there is nothing. You can apply to extend your visa as many times as you like. If you don't want to apply for ILR, you can just continue living on it. After 5 years, you may be able to apply to settle. You may be able to apply for settle, which means you have the option to settle. If you don't want to, you don't have to apply. Okay, also known as ILR. This gives you the right to live, work, and study here. So you will no longer require sponsorship. What ILR means, you don't need any visa to live in the UK once you have ILR. You must apply online. So how do you apply for the skilled worker visa? Once you have the certificate of sponsorship reference number, you apply outside the UK, you click here. Inside there are links. If you want to change your job, this is inside the UK. Your partner and children, yes, they can also join. You can apply for a visa up to 3 months before the day you are ready to start work in the UK. So yeah, so you cannot apply anything more than 3 months. So today is 30th of May. If your job is starting within 3 months from today, only then you can submit the application today. That's what it is saying. The start date of the job. The start date of the job is mentioned on the certificate of sponsorship. The employer may give you a copy of the certificate, or they will tell you what they have mentioned on the certificate. How long it takes. You can apply for a visa up to 3 months before you're due to start. Okay. As part of your application, you will need to prove your identity and prove your documents. You need to allow extra time. Yeah. Usually, this is a summary. In the non-European world, if you're a non-European national, then you would have to go for an appointment to the visa application center, do your fingerprints and photograph. A digital photograph is taken, fingerprints is taken, and that is called as the appointment they are talking about over here. At the appointment, there is no interview. So every time I get this question asked, will I be interviewed, etc. At the appointment, there is no interview. If the caseworker wants to query anything, they will write back through emails, etc. If they want to interview, they will subsequently arrange it over the phone, etc. Usually they do it phone interviews. Or if they want any documents, they will write back to you after that appointment, not during the appointment, because the appointment is done by a third party provider, usually VFS or TLS. So TLS contact takes care of EMEA region, Europe, Middle East, Asia. There is a company, third party company, TLS contact everywhere else other in the world except EMEA region. It is VFS. So they are the third party provider. So either VFS or TLS, they are third party. They act as a courier company. Think of them like that. They may scan your documents if you don't upload them yourself. They may take your fingerprints. They may take your passport, but they are just acting as a courier between the UK government, Home Office, and you. They are just expediting the process, acting as a courier company, giving things back and forth, documents, passports, taking the visa, giving it back to you, something like that. They have all of their top-up services they will try to sell you. That is normal. They may sell you some SMS service, some courier service, some scanning service, or priorities appointment service, anything that doesn't have to do anything with your visa application. Your visa application will be decided on its own merits. All those fees that they charge go to them, so they are an independent business. Okay. Getting a decision. Once you applied online, prove your identity. Prove your identity means you give your biometrics, etc. Give up your passport to the appointment, provided your documents. You'll usually get a decision. Usually within 3 weeks outside the UK. Yes, we are getting decisions in 3 weeks as of today. Today is 30th of May 2023. I'm making this video. 8 weeks you are inside the UK. Yes, inside the UK you also have other priority services, 5-day priority, 24 hours super priority, etc. You will be able to pay. Yeah, this is all talking about the priority services. There are also some priority services. If you click for outside UK, there is a 5 business day service which is priority. You will get all the fees and details over here. You click on inside. Yeah. Then so there is a 24-hour service outside UK also, and as I understand, and there is also, usually clients don't use it, they go standard, because 3 weeks is a reasonable time for a decision outside UK. And sometimes clients do use priority, which is the 5 business days, 5 working days service. Yeah. How much it costs? You, your partner, or children each will need to apply. So everyone has to make separate visa applications. That's what it's saying. The main applicant's visa application, partner's application, child's application, if you're applying outside the UK. Inside UK, I think if you're doing, yeah, when if you're not doing from the app, there are 2 ways we do in the inside the UK. Then we connect the dependents in the form of the main applicant. So yeah, so if you're applying from outside UK, 3 different applications, one for you, one for your partner, and each separate application for each child applying. Pay the visa fee. Everyone has to pay the visa fees. Pay the healthcare surcharge, 624 per year for adults. For children under 18, we'll come to that. Yeah, 427 I think per year of visa. Prove you have enough personal savings. It's talking of maintenance funds. We have other videos on maintenance for skilled worker visa. It goes into details, how many days, 28 days, bank statement, etc. Everything is explained in that video. Search for skilled worker visa financial requirement. Yeah, you should get that visa. If you work in public sector healthcare, if you're a doctor, nurse, check if you're eligible healthcare facilities, you could apply. Okay, so summarily, this whole paragraph applies to if you're in the medical field, so healthcare sector, doctor, nurse, health. So there is, if you click on this, it will take you to the healthcare visa area. It is exactly a skilled worker area. The only difference is you don't pay the healthcare surcharge, and there is a discounted application fee, etc. So only the fees changes, more or less process remains the same. Okay, what you can and cannot do with a skilled worker visa: you can work in that job which is stated in your certificate of sponsorship. Important. Study, you can also study, but you should all, everything else applies only if you are working in your job. You cannot stop working for your job and do everything else. Like, you can't just study and leave your job. It doesn't work like that. You are mainly sponsored for the work. You have to do the work. For example, if you have a 36-hour contract, you have to work for those 36 hours in the main job. Everything else is additional. You may study beyond that time in the evenings, weekends, whatever. Bring your partner, children. Yes. Take on additional work in certain circumstances. We'll go there. Do voluntary work. Yes, you can go and do voluntary work, provided you do your job, your weekly hours, contracted. Travel abroad, return to the UK. Yes, I'm asked this question many times. On this BRP card, on this visa, is it multiple entry? Yes, it is multiple entry. You can go in and out of the UK. You don't have to worry. Every time you come back, you have to show that BRP. If you have a BRP, the BRPs will be stopped. So shortly they will be stopped. So I'm not going to go into much detail of the BRPs. It will be a digital system subsequently. Apply to settle permanently in the UK. Yeah, after 5 years you can apply to settle. That's what it says. If you meet eligibility requirements, mainly it is the 5 years, and then life in the UK test, English test, etc. Okay, you cannot apply for public funds, so you cannot get any state benefits, UK government benefits, etc., which British citizens, settled people do get, and pre-settled people also get under the European USS scheme. Yeah, so change jobs or employ unless you apply to update your visa. So what it's trying to say is you're sponsored by X employer, you have to work for X. If you want to go and work with Y beyond the additional allowed, I think 20 hours allowed, we'll go and I'll explain about that. If you want to work for 40 hours with Y employer rather than X employer who has sponsored you, you need to update your visa, which means get a new certificate, apply for a new visa application inside the UK. So once you are already here, obviously you will apply here. If your application is successful, you will get a full list of what you cannot do. Yeah, that's the approval letter it's talking about. Your job, second one, you must meet all of the following. Your job is eligible for this visa. It is on that list of skilled worker occupations, and you will be working for a UK employer that's been approved by the Home Office. Yes, employer has a sponsor license. You'll be paid at least the minimum salary for the type. So let's say you are doing a specific job, you are a project manager in IT, and that is the job on the list. Let's say I'm just taking an example, a hypothetical one, and the salary for that is 36,000. So you will be paid at least the minimum salary for that type of work. So as per the as per the job code list, your salary should be, as per the UK market, the minimum salaries for that should be 36,000. So you should be paid 36,000. So the way the formula works is, if the salary is less than 26,200 per year, let's say yoga teacher or gym trainer, let's say the salary is 18,000 per year. So but you cannot pay 18, the minimum has to be 26,200. The minimum salary for the type of work you'll be doing is whichever is the highest out of the three. So whichever is highest, for example, going rate. So for, if say for the yoga teacher it is 18,000, which is the highest, 26,200, you have to pay 26,200. If for the project manager it is 36,000, you write 36,000 here, 36, 26,200, then 26,200 cannot be paid, you have to pay 36,000, whichever is the highest, either the current job rate or what it says here, 26,200. So the lowest salary anyone can be sponsored on a skilled worker visa, irrespective of the job they are doing, would be 26,200. There are some exceptions, shortage occupation, etc., which will come down here. But generally, if you're not on shortage occupation, not on PhD occupation, etc., this is the standard rule. Check if your job is eligible. Before you can find out about if your job is eligible, you need to know its 4-digit code. So you already have a job offer, ask your employer for the occupation code. So it will be mentioned on the certificate of sponsorship. So if they give you a copy of that, you will see that anyways, or you can ask them if they just give you the reference number of the certificate. What else? Then looking up jobs occupation code. If you do not know your code, you can, this is the ONS tool, you can go there and it will, you can search for the job code, etc. I'll just open it here. So job title, let's say project manager, and then I search, and then it will come up, and then yeah, you can match these, click on them. Let's say project manager, and you have to read the job description. Try to match always the task, the name doesn't matter. So every time I'm asked by employers, this is the name of the designation, what the job will be doing. We don't care about what is the name. You can call anything, project manager, ABC manager, etc., doesn't matter. What is important is the task should match what is that they are doing. And so they also give you related names, chief knowledge officer, they may be any of these, or they can be something else completely out of this also. But then what they care about is the task, the job duties that the person will be doing. This is the ONS tool where you get the number. This is the number 2424. That's what it is talking of. in this 4-digit code. Yeah, not every job is included. If you cannot find your job, try searching similar jobs. Make sure job description matches that you'll be doing some similar jobs and different codes. Chefs and cooks are eligible, but cooks are not. Yeah. Check if an occupation code is eligible for this visa. You know your occupation code with the table of eligible jobs. So this is where the salary should come in. Yeah. If you click on this, chief executives, this is the number, this is the job code, and then even salaries. Yeah, so these are all the eligible job codes in the skilled worker occupation where they can be sponsored. If the job is not here, they cannot be sponsored for the skilled worker visa. So you can also do a control F and search for it. Command F, yeah, control F, and let's say chef. Yeah, so chefs 5434. You have to do use 5434 for a chef. Table is very large. You can search for it, etc. Need to be paid. The same thing it's talking of whichever is higher or the going rate. So it's explaining, and we're going 30,000 is the same thing that I explained before. Whichever is higher of the three, of the two, 26,200 and 30,000. Each occupation has its own annual going rate. You can see the salaries over here. What is the minimum going rates? Yeah. So chief CEO should be paid at least 59,300. He cannot be paid 26,200. And if you do not meet the salary, then you do not work in the healthcare. So there is some discounting, 20,960 per year. If you do not meet the usual salary requirements and you do not work in the health or education sector, you must still be eligible if your salary is at least this per year and this. Check when you can be paid less. Okay, we'll go there. Approved UK employers, job offer. It talks about sponsorship. They should have sponsor license. You can click on this list and see the list of registered sponsors online or download it. It says skilled worker. So this company, first company, second company, they have a live skilled worker. They can sponsor you. So search for the employer's name over here. It's not necessary. The employer may have holding companies, subsidiary companies. The names may not be exactly the same, but mostly companies have some matching names, etc. Which is skilled worker, any they can sponsor you. What else? Here they need to pay 536. Yeah, this is the sponsor license fee for the employer. Check that you meet the eligibility requirements. They'll give you a cost. Because not electronic record, physical record, everything exactly. It's talking of that I explained. Apply for your visa within 3 months. Next. And you can be paid less. So the paid less one, you must be paid at least this. You can be paid between 70 and 90% of usual going rate if your salary is at least 20 per year. One of the following. So one is if your job is in shortage occupation, then this 26,200 changes to 70%. So at least 2960 per year. So you can be paid 70%, 90% of the usual going rate for your job if at least 2960 per year and you meet one of the following. So if you are following in this category, if your job is in shortage occupation, for example you are a nurse or a doctor, then this 26,200 you have to change it and read it as 26,960. And let's say the doctor's salary is 40,000, so you have to take between 70 and 90% of that salary. It tells you the calculation. Let's go further. You are under 26, studying or a recent grad or in a professional training. So this is called as a new entrant. On the certificate of sponsorship, the employer has to mark new entrant. Only then they will accept this argument of you are under 26. They have to select that. Make sure if you have the certificate, check that the new entrant option is selected as a yes. There is a check mark besides it. So this is newly entering. The logic behind this is you are new into the field. Let's say you are just a recent grad or studying or in a professional training, and you are starting your career for the first time in that area, and you should be under 26. So only if you are under 26 you can be a new entrant, you can get the new entrant discounting. You have a science, technology, STEM PhD. This is all PhD occupation at least. So if you have a STEM PhD, if you have a relevant PhD for any other subject, at least this. So STEM PhD, you get this pricing. If you have any other PhD, then 23,580. Okay, you have a postdoctoral position in science or higher education. So these are all the options. If you fall in any of these categories, then a lesser salary can be paid. This is more from the employer's perspective, because obviously employees want the maximum salaries they want. But if you're an employer watching this video, yes, you can pay a lesser salary than that 26,200 or the going rate if the occupation falls in any of these. If you want specific advice on your own case, you are considering to be someone to be hired, you want to calculate the minimum salaries, you can book a consultation with us. We can advise on this, we can calculate the exact numbers and give it to you. There are different salary rules. Okay, healthcare, for healthcare and education sector, yeah, all these 2960, we can explain this. This is very specific and niche area on healthcare and education areas. Let's go forward. Now next is, yeah, your job is in shortage occupation. Shortage occupation job, there is a list. If it is on shortage occupation, you can be paid 80%. View the list. If you click on this list, the list will come up. Why is this not opening as a page? Okay, all these jobs are in shortage occupation, 80% of going rate. So all of this calculations is done. So what shortage occupation means is these occupations, the UK needs people to work in these occupations. That's why they are in shortage. So we have less people in the market, and we want migrants to come in and occupy these positions. That's why employers are given this discounting of paying slightly lower salaries, etc., pay a lower fee. Visa fee is also slightly low. In the part, okay, you are under 26, recent graduate. If you are a recent graduate, you can be paid 70%. So that under 26 new entrant that I referred to can be paid 70% of the going rate. You're currently in the UK student visa, studying bachelor's degree. So either you are under 26, one option. Second, you're in the UK on a student visa and bachelor's degree or over, or you have been in the last 2 years and on a student or visit visa was your most recent visa. Okay, so either you had student visa, which is the latest one, you are currently in the UK on a graduate entrepreneur visa. That's a specific area of visa. You will be working towards a recognized UK qualification. Okay, you will be working towards full registration, chartered status. Okay, so all these qualify for 70% of salary. If this applies to you, check how much you will be paid. Your total stay in the UK cannot be more than 4 years if you apply for one of these reasons. This includes any time you've already spent in the UK. So your total stay in the UK cannot be more than 4 years. If you have been in the UK for more than 4 years, you're still under 26, you cannot get this discounting. So PhD level qualification. So if you have a PhD level qualification, that's relevant to your job. If your job is eligible for a PhD salary discount, you can be paid 80 or 90% of the job's going rate. If you have science, technology, so it's called as STEM, science, technology, engineering, maths qualification, you can be paid 80% of the going rate. If you have non-STEM qualification, you can be paid 90% of the going rate with minimum as this, and over here with minimum as this. In both situations, you must have a UK PhD or an equivalent doctorate overseas qualification. So the UK education or overseas education, which is verified by UK NARIC body, be able to prove your qualification is relevant to the job. Yeah, so you cannot be just having a PhD and doing something else. The qualification has to be relevant to the job, and that is confirmed on the course. There is a question where it says, is it a PhD occupation? Yes, no. Is it a STEM PhD? Yes, no. So all that has to be marked accordingly on the certificate of sponsorship that the employer is issuing you. This needs to be done carefully. when the certificate is assigned, or when you apply for the certificate. Such academic leader you are eligible for. Yeah, academic leaders can apply for global talent visa. That's a different visa category. You have a postdoctoral position in science or higher education, you can be paid 70% of the job. If you have this, you must be in one of the following categories. So only these categories, 70% of the going rate can be paid. Then your total stay in the UK cannot be more than 4 years if you apply for postdoctoral. Same thing, 4 years limitation. So the discounting can be applied summarily is if you have been in the UK for less than 4 years. That's very important. If you are already experienced, you are living in the UK, yeah, then the discounting becomes a problem. Yeah. If you work in healthcare education, all these national pay scales, shortage occupation, these are the fees you pay for the visas. Knowledge of English, everyone applying should pass the B1 test. Click here, you will get the approved providers who can give the test. Then go on their websites, and these are the providers, and then book the test, give the test. If you want to see how the tests are done, search by their name, English test, and search on YouTube and see there are some samples of Trinity College. I've seen that, maybe IELTS also. So you can only take tests with one of these. You cannot use your academic IELTS or general IELTS. And there is a reference number that is there which begins like this. So you should have, this is one of the approved test provider, and these are the names of the tests. And what else? GCSE, etc. If you already studied in the UK, you don't need to give the test. Your degree qualification in the UK, bachelor's or higher, bachelor's, master's, PhD, you don't need the test. If you have an international qualification, you can apply to the NARIC body, it should tell you, and get your certificates assessed. Who does not need to prove? If you are coming from any of these countries, you don't need English test. For doctor, dentist, nurse, midwife, you don't need to prove English. If you already passed English language assessment, that is accepted. Just small exception area for the medical field, healthcare field. If English language assessment is done by the regulated professional body that you are registered with, or that you are going to be registered with, then you don't need the test. How much it costs? Skilled worker visa, these are all the fees. Up to 3 years visa, anything more than 3 years, this is the visa fee you pay. 6 months to 3 years, this is the visa fee. Healthcare surcharge, 624 per year multiplied by 3 years visa, 5 years visa, 1 year visa. It is only discounted, proportionate is per year. So if you apply for a 6-month visa, you still have to pay minimum 1 year. So support yourself when you arrive in the UK. So on the financial requirement, we have a separate video. Search for skilled worker financial requirement, and it goes into details, the amounts, how much you need for partners, husband, wife, children, etc. What is the period of the bank statement, etc. 28-day period, all of that is explained in that video. You will pay a lower application fee. Yeah, shortage occupation, it said that to pay. Yeah, it's just giving you examples how it is calculated. Application fees up to 3 years, 625. If you're applying from outside the UK, if you're applying from inside the UK, so remember, these outside UK fees, 625 per person. Per person means the main applicant, the dependent, everyone have to pay this fees. Even the child, every child has to pay this fees. More than 3 years, this is per person. So per person, doesn't matter, the age is irrelevant, whether children or adults, everyone has to pay the same fees. If you apply inside the UK, same thing applies. 719 per person, 1423 per person. Up to 3 years, anything from 3 years 1 day up to 5 years. Yeah. Your job is on the shortage occupation list, so you and your family will pay lower application fee. If you are on shortage, you don't pay the immigration surcharge. Where is that gone? You don't pay the IHS 624, so remember that. When you're filling up the application form, make sure you select the right visa category. It asks you questions like are you applying for a healthcare visa? So if you say yes to that, it won't charge you the IHS immigration health surcharge and all. So all the questions on the form need to be answered correctly so that it calculates the correct fees at the end. If you don't answer it correctly, you may end up paying a higher fees. Remember, it happens, it's common. I have seen many times clients make mistakes, they pay more than what they are required to. Sometimes they pay short, and yeah, some they are asked to withdraw their applications, file again. Yeah, yesterday itself I was talking to someone, and yeah, the person, she filed for an application, and I think she said paid the shortage occupation fees and she didn't pay the IHS. Obviously, she selected shortage occupation yes, but on the employer's cost it was marked as a no, and it was not a shortage occupation code. Obviously, that's why the employer did so. So she's required to withdraw the whole application, make a fully new application. The withdrawal of the application takes, it may take 28 days to 90 days to get the fees that you already paid back from home office. So it's not very simple. You may end up just, yes, you do get the funds back, but it does take time. You will need more funds to make another application if you are withdrawing the application, the previous one. Okay, healthcare surcharge, you also have to pay IHS. Okay, money, yeah, all this financial. Look at our other video, skilled worker financial requirements. Search for it, it should come up on our YouTube channel, or TikTok, wherever you are watching this, or anywhere, Instagram. If your employer can support you instead, your side of sponsorship must confirm. The employer also has the option, but I've seen 80% of the employers don't do it. Um, there is just a check mark that the employer has to say yes, that I will certify maintenance. They don't have to give you any money. They just have to say that he requires, I will give him the money to take care of him and his family for the first year, him, her, and the applicant's family, for the first month. So that maintenance, the logic is, when you come in, you don't, how will you take care of yourself till you get your first salary? So at least for the first month you should have some money. That's the reason for money to support yourself, financial requirement. Previously it was called as maintenance funds. So the employer can confirm a yes, and that's it. You don't have to show any bank statements. That has to be done on the certificate of sponsorship. Everything from the employer goes only on the certificate of sponsorship, nowhere else. Documents you'll need. So briefly, you will have list of documents on our website also. If you search on our YouTube channel, list of documents for tier 2 general visa, yeah, tier 2 general visa or skilled worker visa, you should find it. Yeah, so that's much like exhaustive and comprehensive list. Yeah, so I would rather not talk about this. So briefly, what this says, you need the cost reference, English test, your valid passport, yeah, job title, annual salary. You have to fill up all on the form. Job occupation code, ask the employer. If you have a copy of the costs, defined certificate of sponsorship, D costs we call it, then it should have all this information. If you don't have it, then ask the employer. Name of the employer, sponsor license number, yeah, ask the employer. This should come up on the costs. Yeah, if you don't have a cost, then you have to ask all of this to the employer. Ask for employer for a copy of your cost if you do not have one. So that's what it says. You'll have all those answers on there. Other documents you might need, proof of relationship, TB test, etc., etc. Yeah, so go on our YouTube channel, search for list of documents or documents list for skilled worker visa or document list for tier 2 general. You should definitely find the videos. It should be in parts or something. And also on the web, on our website, you can download the list of documents. So you'll need a blank page. Yes, everything, criminal record for specific occupations in these areas. You need a criminal record certificate from your local police station or in your country. Lived in more than one country, yeah, this becomes a problem sometimes. If you are unable to get it, there is some discretion around it, but yeah, do seek the advice of immigration lawyers. We do advise on these matters. You have to tell us what is the problem, what you have tried, etc., and then when we represent the case, we can explain it to the home office. We've already always got the exception. If it's not that you don't want to get the certificate, if it is possible, you should get it. And they also have information about countries where you can get certificates. So if you are able to get from your country, then definitely get it. If for whatever reason you cannot get it, then yeah, seek the advice of immigration lawyers we do advise on these matters. We can represent also, we can explain it to them. And yeah, for that you'll have to book a consultation. Yeah, links will be down below in our videos somewhere, or you can go on our website and fill up the contact form when you got your documents. So what it says is, once you have the documents, the way you scan is you have to scan the documents or take pictures and upload them. There is a 5 MB file limit for VFS, as I understand. So 5 MB per file. So PDF at 70 dpi should be fine. 150 or 75 dpi, I think that's what they say. It can be in black and white. You don't have to give the scan things in color. That's perfectly fine. So your documents are ready. Preferably I would say scan them and then upload them after you submit the application. Or if you don't have scanners or you don't want to do it, you will have to carry all the documents, pay the scanning fees to VFS or TLS wherever you're going, and they will scan it for you. So how you apply depends. Outside UK, click here, you'll go to the forms, etc. Extending, switching. Yeah, these two seem to be similar, so let me just open it. Yeah, apply from outside UK. You have to click apply once you've started. If you're outside UK, click here, and what it will do is it will start creating the application form. You have to answer the questions and it customizes the form for you, where you will be living, England and Scotland, etc, etc. Let's say I continue, then it will say, do you have a current EU passport? This is the reason it will direct you to the app, etc. So EU, ES, Swiss nationals, their passports are recognized. They don't have to go for an appointment. There is a ID check app, etc. All of the other things. That's why it's trying to differentiate here, and it's trying to decide which area you will be going into, whether you need an appointment, whether you have to pay IHS. These areas don't pay immigration and surcharge. You have to pay immigration surcharge only for this area. Yeah, so it is, the application is deciding how to charge you, what to charge you, what not to charge you, whether you will go for an appointment or you will use the app. So if I say no, then it continues, then it says country. For example, I'm applying for whatever, China, then it will say, can you go for an appointment, any country. Yeah, you can search, click here, it will take you to the VFS global, the VFS third party, and then you find the center. Yeah, all the countries are listed here, you can find them, and then you say I have identified, you continue. Then it says you are applying for a skilled worker visa. It gives you all the information again. Click on apply now. It will ask you to create a new application, email address, password. You can open this application again and again. These are the different steps of the application: start, application, documents, declaration, pay, further actions, download documents, book an appointment, everything, upload documents, everything comes from this point forward. It goes to the VFS system from here. Paying the fees, so full application, document checklist will come up. That's not 100% correct every time. Go on our website, see the checklist, declarations if applicable, and you can log into the form. Once you fill up, you log out, log in, you can come back to the form again and again, so you don't have to save everything at one go. And what else? Inside the UK, same thing, extending current visa, extending your visa is gone down, and it will say apply now. Click, same way it has gone, same way it is saying no. If you have a valid BRP, you're in the UK, then it tries to use the BRP for the app, etc. That is just procedural, it doesn't matter. Decisions are the same, doesn't matter to the decision. Doesn't matter whether you are using your BRP, using the UK ID check app, you are a EU national, you are using your passport instead of going for the appointment, you're a non-EU national, Indian, Chinese, American, then you are going for an appointment. Doesn't matter, decision making is on the merits of the application. So these are 3 ways. Same thing for switching also, you'll click and you'll go on the form, guidance checker tool, click, same thing, it's going to the same pages. Apply here, how long it takes, it will give you some answers. Then partner, children, relationship, so you can bring your partner and children. They called as dependents, a dependent partner. PBS, previously it was called as points based system. Still in many parts it says PBS dependents. That's fine. That's what we also call it, PBS dependents. Dependent partner, husband, wife, civil partner, unmarried partner. Child under 18, over 18 if you're already in the UK and born in the UK, etc. Small exceptions for children born. So if they're already a dependent when they were under 18, yes, they can continue as dependents when they become over 18. Your partner must be able to prove either civil partnership, marriage certificate that's recognized in the UK. So if your marriage or civil partnership is registered in the country where it is registered, if it is legal, then it is legal in the UK. That's how it works. So that's what it means when it says recognized in the UK. If it is legal in that country, it is legal in this country. It can be in any language. The marriage certificate, you have to get it translated in English when you submit it. So you have to have the original marriage certificate copy plus a copy of the translation which is in English. All this will be on our list of documents. You can search for the list of documents on our website, on the YouTube channel, on TikTok if you are looking or watching on TikTok. Even living together in relationship. So someone who is not married, like unmarried partners, 2 years of cohabitation evidence, living together evidence, those evidences will be on our list. Living together address proofs, tenancy agreement, etc. Child is over 16, they must live with you, they will be in full-time education, not married, financially supported by you. Child is with you, you provide evidence, bank statement, credit card, so prove that they are living with you, etc. If they are over 16, money they need to support themselves. So all this financial requirement is explained in the video. Financial requirement for skilled worker financial requirement. Search for it on our channel, YouTube channel, TikTok, etc. or also on our website. With the financial requirement, go on the video. The video explains much better. It has the latest numbers, all of these. 28 days, everything is explained over there in that video. Apply from outside the UK. Yeah, if you are applying, if your partner is applying, this is the form that you have to use. Partners go, this is the partners form, same way you have to go forward. Child is applying, same way you have to go forward in this one also. Yes, each family member will need to complete a separate application and pay the fees, and they will put your application reference or passport number or something to connect you to them, to the main applicant. Identity, fingerprint, same thing as you do, exactly the same process as the main applicant. Apply from inside the UK. If your partner or children are on any of these, they cannot switch to the skilled worker dependent. They have to go back, apply from outside the UK, preferably from their home country for which they have a passport, or any other country where they have a right to remain for more than 6 months after the date of their biometric appointment. Apply online as your partner. How to apply? So this is apply from inside. So applying inside, same way. Application, appointments, children born in the UK. This is the form. What your partner or child cannot do. Your partner or child can work except as a sports person or coach. Partner has full rights to work in the UK. They can start a business. They can be employed any number of hours. Nothing, no restriction on the partner, on the spouse, husband, civil partner, anyone. Children, or they can study also. Even children, they can study. Travel abroad, return to the UK. Multiple entry BRP or visa that they get. Apply to settle after 5 years. Once the main applicant has got, only after that or at the same time they can apply. Without the main applicant, the partners cannot apply. Partner or children cannot apply on their own. They cannot get public funds. Successful, they get a full list of what they can do. Okay, extend your visa. Same thing. You'll need a course. You'll need, if you're extending, different eligibility requirements. There's just a short period before 24th November 2016. It's just a small exception. It's not being used that much now because people who are already in 16, we are in 23. It's already more than 5 years. So usually people have already got indefinite leave to remain. in these categories, so it's not much of use at this point. It's already 9 years, approximately 8.5 years. The only thing was the salaries were slightly different at the time. That's why these small exceptions have been explained over here. It doesn't matter much now. People who had those visas before November 16, they already have got ILRs now, indefinite leaves. All the pricing for STEM, fees, everything, proving your identity, visa, ID check app. If you're not going for an appointment, it tells you, the form will tell you what to do, whether to use the app or not when you answer those questions. Where you're applying from, are you EU national, etc. Yes, no. Apply to extend, same thing. Continue your application, sign into the account. A link will be sent to you. You have to use the same link that has come to your email. Decision timings, 8 weeks within UK. You can ask to cancel your application. If you already filed, yes, you can cancel your application. Usually there is a tab inside UK, I've seen at the bottom, where you can cancel it, and you can withdraw the application if you wish to, for any reason. If you change jobs, yes, update your visa means apply for a new visa application. That's what it means. Same process. Even if you change job, you have to file a new application, pay the fees, everything. Give fingerprints, apply to update. It goes through the same links, I'm pretty sure. You click anywhere, it goes to the same page. Yeah, provided inside UK applications go to the same page, outside UK go to the same pages the way they are. But still, click on those exact links, it's much better if you are doing it. 8 weeks inside UK decision time, and switch to this visa. You might be able to apply to switch to skilled worker visa. Yeah, this is a common question I get asked in consultations. Can I switch from other visas? There will be a specific restriction of individuals on specific visas who cannot switch. Mainly it would be, you cannot apply to switch. Switch means filing skilled worker visa application for the first time from inside UK. If you're as a visitor, you cannot apply for a skilled worker inside UK. You have to go back and apply. Any of these categories, go back to your home country and apply. Visit, short term, student, parent of a child, student, seasonal worker, domestic worker, permission to stay outside immigration rules. Every other visa which is not listed in this visa, if you're on that, yes, you can apply for switching inside UK. We do applications, people switching from spouse visas, parent visas, family route, even from student visas you can switch. From graduate route visa you can switch to skilled worker visa. A lot of the different visas. Yeah, this is very important. You must not travel outside the UK, Ireland. It's called as common travel area, UK, Ireland, Channel Islands, or the Isle of Man, until you get a decision. Once you file the application, if you file in the standard process and it's taking 8 weeks, you have to be in the UK, even if you may have your passport. Nowadays they don't take the passports from applicants, but even if you have the passport, you are not allowed to travel. If you travel, your application is treated as withdrawn. In simple terms, cancelled. Okay. Not switch. Fee is exactly the same explanation. Visa, appointment, identity, providing supporting documents, ID check app or fingerprint appointment. Apply to switch. 8 weeks inside UK decision time is the same. Switching, extending, changing employers, anything, 8 weeks. After you apply, you can cancel it also. Taking on additional work. Additional work up to 20 hours is allowed in the same occupation code and at the same level. So if you are a head of IT and that is the job code, there is a job description and code that you're using. If you want to work up to 20 hours for any other employer, you can do it, but you should be a head of IT or at the similar level. The name may be different, but the job responsibility should be the same, under the same occupation code and at the same level. So you should be the head over there. You cannot be assistant or anything under that. And you can do any job up to 20 hours in a shortage occupation. There is an exception now which has been, it's still autumn, about August September. There is a video we have, there is a 20 hours of work cap, has additional work cap has been removed from any health and care visas. Any visas that are on the health and care healthcare, which qualifies as a healthcare visa, you can google for healthcare visa, the list of jobs will come up: nurses, doctors, healthcare, senior, HCS, etc., etc. There are many in there. um, Other occupation codes also in the medical field. They can work for more than 20 hours with any other employer in the same healthcare education. Okay, so in the same occupation code that they have the main job, they can work for 40 hours for the main employer, they can work 40 hours for another employer also. I don't know how it would be practically possible, but hypothetically yes, that has been allowed. You can work as much as you want in the health, if you are in a healthcare visa category and you are doing the same type of healthcare job somewhere else. There is a video on TikTok, on YouTube, on our channel. If you search for healthcare, even the term healthcare, it will come up: healthcare visa exemption, 20-hour work cap, something like that. So it will explain you about that. It has been removed. It is just a concession given up till about August September. That video will tell you more about it. I think it is August September, around September or so. After that, the government will review and they will see if they want to continue that. That's just an exception. It will not be mentioned because it's a concession. It won't come over here. Working for more than 20 hours a week. Yep. Then if you want to work for more than 20 hours a week under the normal area, not the healthcare occupation, you need a new certificate of sponsorship from that employer, and you have to also apply for include letter with the application explaining that you want to change your current permission. So you have to basically apply for that employer as well. That's all. So all the tabs have been done, taking on additional work. And thank you very much for watching. If you need advice on your specific case, if you're an employer, you want advice on sponsor licensing and related activities, we advise, we represent employers. If you're an employee migrant who wants any advice on your specific case, we advise on those matters. You can book a consultation. The links will be down below in the video. Please do follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. That's the new one that we are going on, and these videos will be there as well. We have an aim of going up to 1,000 followers, they call it, yeah, subscribers on YouTube. 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 1,000 subscribers, followers on TikTok, yeah. So that we can go live. So try to help us reach that number. Try to subscribe us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok and various social platforms. We are also on Instagram, etc., Facebook and all. And do like this video, give it a thumbs up if you do like it. Like the video, share it, and thank you very much.